So again, it will be Hugh Barter looking to pick up another win. He's the championship leader at the moment. He's already picked up 2 wins already this weekend and 2 pole positions. So he's in the right place to do it, starting from the front. So far had 6 wins overall in the championship on 212 points. Nano Lopez, 192 points behind. So not that far between the 2 of them. 2 wins for Nano Lopez and consistently getting 2nd place. And I was just having a look at the grid there and was wondering why Aaron Ferrazzano is down at the back, and that's because he's been given a 10-place grid penalty, a 10-second penalty rather, after the results of race 2. We'll have a look at that properly in a minute after the race gets underway. But the cars will all line up, getting ready for the 3rd race of the weekend for the Hoosier Formula Cup. Race 3. Gilles de Pierre just slotting into his position, and once we're all ready we can go racing here in the Autodrome International Algarve circuit. And there is Gilles de Pierre, quite far from the box, but he's going to commit to that. Green flag will be waved at the back and we will go racing for the final time in the Hoosier Formula Cup. Temperatures rising out there. Hugh Barter on pole position. Green flag then flying, the lights are going and they'll go off and we'll go racing once again in Portimão with Hugh Barter on pole position, and just slotting in behind is Nano Lopez, but he's under pressure once again from Matteo Valente going into turn 1. Solian Amrouche remains in 4th place. One of the Winfield Racing at the back in must be Craig McClatchy is just slotted in behind Solian Amrouche, so not much changed in the opening lap here at the top 5. And it looks like that's Dylan Estra actually that's managed to get himself up behind Solian Amrouche into turn 5, and they're quite bunched up at the moment with Nano Lopez then under pressure from Matteo Valente for 2nd place. But Hugh Barter once again doing what Hugh Barter does, which is run away with it. Here's Laurent Vutic then for the battle for 5th and 6th. And Laurent Vutic just slides in behind and has to settle for, at the moment, 6th place. So, first lap underway then in the Hoosier Formula Cup, and quite surprisingly there was the clock, so 20 minutes is on the clock and it's ticked down to 18 minutes already. And actually, for the Hoosier Formula Cup, that was quite a calm opening lap. So at the top then, Hugh Barter leading the way, the championship leader. But Nano Lopez is not a racing driver to count out for this championship, because at the moment he's only a couple of points behind in 2nd place despite not getting as many races. There could be a move here from Dylan Estra, who's had a good start actually and is now on the tail of Matteo Valente. Dylan Estra, who had a crash with Aaron Ferrazzano at the end of race 2. Oh, big lock up there into turn 3 from Dylan Estra, and showing how much pressure he's starting to try and put on Matteo Valente. And we spoke to Dylan Estra at the beginning of the race weekend after race 1, and he said he was unhappy with his qualifying setup, which has set him onto the back foot. Into turn 5, Dylan Estra thinking about going around the outside, but thinks better of it there. Incident at turn 4 is under investigation, but we continue to watch this battle here for the final podium position. Matteo Valente would have had a podium. So Matteo Valente was originally given a podium position at the end of the first race, and at first we thought that Aaron Ferrazzano would actually get it back, but he was given a time penalty at the end of the race too. So actually Matteo Valente has managed to pick up his first podium of the race weekend overall this season. So looking to do it again today, and currently sitting third at the moment with Dylan Estra on his tail. But car number 75, the start is under investigation. And that is Philip Darrick at the back of the grid. So we'll see if there's anything that happens to Philip Darrick at the moment, but he's currently running down in 11th place. So we've got here Walter Rijkaard is into the pits, and that might have been the incident that is under investigation at turn 4. Looks like they were changing the nose cone, so something happened to Walter Rijkaard, and he's now currently running down in probably the back, so 14th when he comes out of the pit lane, because there's no mandatory pit stops in the Hoosier Formula Cup. Little bump over the curbs there for Matteo Valente, and actually, if my eyes did deceive me there, Dylan Estra has managed to get past Matteo Valente somewhere around this track, and this is Thierry Malholm, who's fighting for 12th at the moment. This is Alain Boucher then in the gentleman category, fighting down in 11th at the moment with Thierry Malholm, who's managed to get past him for important points in the gentleman category. At the moment, the overall standings in the gentleman category is Frederick Boileau leading the way from Walter Rijkaard. Walter Rijkaard already having a bit of a shocker of a race because he's currently just come out the pit lane after picking up damage on the opening couple of laps. And Laurent Vutic has moved himself up to third now and leapfrogged Alain Boucher thanks to a win in class in the first and second race in Portimão. So Dylan Estra has, Hugh Barter rather, has pulled out a 2-second lead on Nano Lopez with 14 minutes left on the clock. Dylan Estra has moved himself up to third place. Soliane Amrouche is the car we're following in the red, and she is currently 5th at the moment. If she finished there, it'd be her 3rd, 5th position of the season, and her best overall has been 5th, so I'm sure she'll be keen to try and see if she can catch up to Matteo Valente ahead of her, who's about 2 seconds ahead on the track, but she's actually being chased down, I think, by Aaron Ferrazzano, who's had a fantastic race because he started 13th at the moment and he's managed to get himself up to 6th place. So definitely worth watching Aaron Ferrazzano and seeing what he can do from here. Soliane Amrouche is the driver that's under pressure, and you kind of feel at this point Aaron Ferrazzano, who's had a bit of a shock of a weekend. He damaged his back in qualifying earlier in the weekend and he didn't race in the first race because of that. This is Laurent Vutic and Gilles de Pierre, and was knocked out of the last race due to an incident with Dylan Estra, which brought out the red flag just in the dying moments of the race, and then was smacked with a 10-second time penalty for this race. So started 13th and lost his podium. So tough weekend for Aaron Ferrazzano, all in all. And he's been a promising talent in this championship so far, and overall is sitting 4th in the championship despite not starting the first race of this weekend, and picked up a podium in Paul Ricard, the 3rd race. And actually he's the only other driver that's been on the podium that hasn't been Hugh Barter, Nano Lopez or Dylan Estra, to the 3 at the front. The rookies are absolutely taking over this championship at the moment. So Soliane Amrouche is making her car the biggest car in the world at the moment, and Aaron Ferrazzano, oh, nice little switch back there into turn 11. and made it stick there at that point, and that was a beautiful move from Aaron Ferrazzano. He waited patiently for Soleil Rouge to go maybe a little bit too wide into a corner. Drive-through penalty for car number 2 causing a collision. So that's Walter Rijkaard, who came into the pits earlier and had a nose change, and that would be who I'm assuming had the collision. I'm not sure who had a collision with, but either way, he's got a drive-through penalty. So Aaron Ferrazzano then gets himself up to 5th. This is the move then into turn 11 that saw a lovely little switchback from Aaron Ferrazzano. Decides not to go around the outside and dives in the inside. And it's actually a really beautiful move. Makes it stick, closes the door on Soleil Rouge and says, no thanks, I'm taking that one. So he gets himself up to 5th. Soleil Rouge moves down to 6th. And now Aaron Ferrazzano will have his eyes set on Matteo Valente, who is a couple of seconds in front of him on the track. At the front, Hugh Barter, once again, don't know how many times, it could be a bingo card at this point, how many times I say Hugh Barter's leading the way in the Algarve, but he's still leading the way and he's still setting fastest laps out there. So he's been untouchable so far this race weekend and picked up quite a few points as the Australian. Nano Lopez just a little bit off the pace this weekend. Is speaking again to Chris after the couple of races that we've had, who's been down in the pit lane speaking to the drivers after the race. He again just said he had nothing really that he could fight with Hugh with. He'd run out of ammo really, so I think maybe probably time to have a little rethink about what happens next when we head to Aragon in Spain, which is a new track for us in the Ultimate Cup, usually used for MotoGP and bikes, but it's definitely a track that I'm looking forward to going to, not one I've ever been to before, and that's the race that we'll go to next. But for now, we'll concentrate on the final race of the Hoosier Formula Cup, and if it stays like this, it will be another win for Hugh Barter, and you have to say, he is dominating this championship, and he's been dominating it really since the moment he joined us. Didn't race at all with us last season, didn't even come in and do a one round. He was new to Paul Ricard and picked up a win almost immediately. He's, of course, got a lot of racing under his belt. Raced in the Spanish F4, French F4, Formula 3 Championship as well. Back in 2023, his best finish was 19th, but he only has 16 starts, so not a huge amount of time in the car. So here is Matteo Valente, and now he's under pressure from Aaron Ferrazzano, who has had a fire lit in his belly, and he's looking to go around the outside. Can he make that one stick? 2 doesn't always go into 1. Oh, beautiful from Aaron Ferrazzano, who you have to say is on an absolute charge here, and he gets past Matteo Valente to get himself up to 4th place. You have to remember that Aaron Ferrazzano started 13th on the grid. He picked up a time penalty, and from that he has absolutely said, well, okay, I'll do what I can from here. I'm going to showcase my talent, and you have to say he has. Gets himself up to 4th place, and now hunting down Dylan Estra, who he had a clash with in the second race. So Matteo Valente looking to fight back a little bit here, not letting Aaron Ferrazzano out of his sight too quickly. And these two have been a great addition to the championship and be brilliant to have on board. We've been seeing some brilliant racing from the top 5 especially in the rookie category, and such a good, ooh, little bit of a twitch there going into turn 5 for Aaron Ferrazzano. Manages to keep it on the track and no lockups or anything, so it should be okay, but could have lost a bit of time there. But Matteo Valente has, as you can see, just dropped back slightly there, and that battle seemingly to be over at this point. This is Thierry Malholm, and behind him is Alain Boucher. Alain Boucher bit of a plume of smoke coming out of Thierry Malholm's car then, but maybe I missaw it. These two are battling down in 11th and 12th. At the front then, Aaron Ferrazzano setting his eyes on Dylan Estra in 3rd place for an overall podium, and even if he doesn't get it, you'll have to say he's definitely shown the team what he can do from the back of the grid. And it takes a lot to come through the pack as quickly as he did in 20 minutes. It's not a lot of time to do it. So the Winfield Racing driver will be the 4th driver you see across the line in a moment. Solian Amrouche there is currently running 6th. And this here is Frederick Boileau, who is side by side with Craig McClatchy, and that is for position heading into turn 1. Craig McClatchy actually goes wide at turn 1 and just allows them through. It's almost like he said, actually, no, you take it. Don't think he meant to, as you could hear the tyre screeching. But yeah, unfortunate mistake there from Craig McClatchy, just going a little bit hot into turn 1. And gifts Frederick Boileau 7th place. This is Laurent Vutic up against Craig McClatchy now. And he's managed also to get past very easily there. Oh, he's putting up a bit of a fight actually as Craig McClatchy here on Laurent Vutic, but Laurent Vutic will have, that was close. I feel like that was a very close move there from Laurent Vutic, and Craig McClatchy just coming across him. So here is Frederick Boileau versus Craig McClatchy. Craig McClatchy just loses it really, and then comes back on quite aggressively onto the track and continues on his leisurely drive, but unfortunately giving up 7th place in the process. Had a solid weekend, has Craig McClatchy this weekend. He's usually marred with a few issues out there, and some of his own, some of bad luck. And in this instance, he's had a solid weekend to keep him going. A 7th and an 8th, currently sitting 12th in the championship. Oh, we got a spin there. Thierry Malholm, I think. Yes, it is. Car number 33, going for a little pirouette. And Craig McClatchy then under pressure from Laurent Vutic, who has looked quite racy this weekend as well in the gentleman category. And at the moment, leading the gentleman category will be Frederick Boileau. But this is, again, for the 2nd place in the class overall for the gentleman drivers. No huge point telling you what's changed at the front, because nothing has. Hugh Barter still leading the way from Nano Lopez and Dylan Estra. For Aaron Ferrazzano at the moment having to settle. Oh, we've clashed. Laurent Vutic has gone into the side of Craig McClatchy. Just as I was saying, one looking racy and one having a good weekend. That's at turn 5. And it seems that they've just collided with each other into that hairpin. Disappointment for both the drivers, and if they can't get it going, you would assume at this point it'll be a red flag, but they should, unless they're hooked by a front wing, be able to get it going. They both look a bit beached. There's another issue here for Thierry Malholm, who's also having a few issues out there in spinning. So I don't know what's happened in the final few moments. Okay, here is Thierry Malholm. So let's see what happens there. Just a spin, just goes round on his own. And here we go then. This is the replay of Laurent Vutic going up the inside, locks up, and Craig McClatchy then comes across him. Now, that will be probably taken to the stewards at this point. It's clear at turn 5 now, so both the cars have got going, and this is confirmation both the cars have got going now, because that's Laurent Vutic on the track. But at that point, you have to say, was there enough space given from Laurent Vutic going into that corner? Well, that's one for the stewards, I'm afraid. Gilles de Pierre then having a bit of a lonely race out there at the moment, currently running down in 8th place and 2nd in the gentleman category. Chasing down Frédéric Boileau for position. That's Nano Lopez with the bright yellow front wing, but that is a limping home Craig McClatchy, I'm afraid. After just saying he had a really lovely, strong weekend, contacted turn 5 is under investigation. That's Craig McClatchy versus Laurent Vutic. And unfortunately, that is a limping home Winfield Racing driver who has clearly picked up damage. Disappointing then for Craig McClatchy. His teammate then just goes past him, Aaron Ferrazzano, who on a complete contrast has had a great race. So Craig McClatchy then staying off the racing line, making sure that he can get back to the pits, and he will dive in here on the right, you would suspect. So here then is Matteo Valente behind his Solian Amrouche, and the car behind is out of position, I would believe. Not out of position, but like out of racing position. They're not fighting. These two are fighting at the front here, Matteo Valente and Solian Amrouche, but it looks like Philip Darrick is the car that's behind them, which is not fighting for position. So this will be, let's have a quick look where so this is the final lap as the clock clicks down, and there you go, confirmation at the moment. The leaders are up by turn 8, so Hugh Barter looking to pick up 3 in a row, and that would be quite an impressive feat in this championship, and he will absolutely stamp his authority down who he wants to win this. And I hope he stays with us, because he has been a real joy to see racing out there and a real talent on the grid. So it will be his 7th win and his 4th in a row for Hugh Barter, who is once again still setting fastest times out there. And he'll come across the line, the checkered flag is out, and it is 7 wins for Hugh Barter. It is 4 in a row. It is 3 out of 3 in Portimão, and you have to say that is a sign of how championships are going to be won, they're going to be made, and they're going to be taken home, because Hugh Barter has absolutely dominated this weekend. Crossing the line in 2nd though, Nano Lopez, Dylan Estra, a brilliant drive from Aaron Ferrazzano to get himself 4th. Matteo Valente has to settle for 5th, battling to the end with Solian Amrouche there for 6th. Frédéric Boileau will cross the line for 7th. Gilles de Pierre in 8th. 9th, Alain Boucher. Laurent Vutic come home 10th. Thierry Mahom is 11th. Winning the gentleman then is Frédéric Boileau. But it is, once again, Hugh Barter's day. Time 2nd, 86. Sorry, car 86, a 30-second time penalty for causing a collision at turn 5. Apparently I've lost the ability to read. That's car number 6. Oh, who was that? Sorry, actually. Which one are they blaming it on? 86, which is Laurent Vutic. And I kind of suspected if he hadn't really left a lot of space and went a bit deep into turn 5, and Craig McClatchy was just going round on the racing line and can't dive ball there, so dive bomb rather. So a 30-second time penalty causing a collision for Laurent Vutic, but all eyes on Hugh Barter once again as he makes his way back round to the pits for the final time this weekend. And you have to say he's going to be incredibly pleased with himself, and he's done the triple this weekend, and he'll dive into the pit lane, just being overtaken just at the end there. I don't know if he overshot that a little bit. But here he comes once again, pulling up alongside the number 1. And absolutely showing his pace out there. And untouchable at the moment is Hugh Barter, and Nano Lopez just has nothing to bring to the table at this point. Dylan Estra will be pleased with that one after a 4th place. Marshall's putting people where they need to be. Always safety being their number one thing down there, and out hops Hugh Barter, and hopefully not getting running over by Nano Lopez behind. Thankfully, look at the graining on those tyres. So interesting, isn't it, to see how much pressure and the difference between Hugh Barter's tyres and Nano Lopez's tyres is quite significant. And you can see Chris down there having a little look at the tyres as well, as I mentioned it. I see you, Chris. And he's going to, of course, speak to Hugh Barter. No moment to even get a glass of water when Chris is around, because he's ready to pounce. Let's hear then from Chris, who's down in the pit lane.
It is on. No, I mean, it was another really, really great performance from you. Again, I mean, how many more words can we find for this season?
I mean, that's up to you, not me. Yeah, obviously, pace was really good. This is the first race of the weekend without a safety car, so I was able to just push throughout. Bit of traffic towards the end. I think I went purple in 2 sectors in the second last lap, and then I completely missed one of the corners of the last sector. But yeah, it helps massively when the fuel goes down, and it seems like the tyres don't really degrade. There is a bit of a peak, but after that it's pretty much smooth sailing, and then you just wait for the fuel. But yeah, I mean, the car's been great all weekend. There's not much more I can say.
It's surprising because you did your pole lap on like the penultimate lap of qualifying as well, and yet even in this heat and on a track like this, at the end of the race, you're still setting purple sectors.
Yeah, exactly. Like what I just said, it's the tyre seems to be performing pretty much straight at the gate really well, and there's a small drop off, but then the fuel difference is much bigger than what the performance at the start of the run is with the tyre, so you just get faster and faster and faster.
We're not racing again until September. What are you going to do until then?
Relax, maybe a couple beers. But yeah, just prepared, to be honest. I mean, keep the form. Obviously, it's going to be hot again in September, especially in, I think it's Motorland. So yeah, just trying to keep the form up.
Good man, you've earned this break, I think. Well done. We'll see you in Spain.
Thank you.
All right, we'll let you go and celebrate with the team. Let's have a quick chat with Nano Lopez as well. Nano, can we interrupt? Second again. I mean, a really, really strong weekend for yourself. You look like you've had quite the workout in the car as well.
Yeah, it's really hot out here, so yeah, it's almost like being in a sauna. But yeah, second in all races. Obviously, we managed to get really good points. But yeah, we weren't strong enough to maybe challenge Hugh. A new track for me. But yeah, we weren't up to his level. Yeah.
Obviously, it's quite a big break until Spain. What can you do in that break to try and catch you?
The same I have been doing for this year, just working simulator gym, and yeah, trying to be my best for the races. Yeah.
Good man. Enjoy the break.
Thank you. You too.
All right, let's have a quick word with Dylan Estra as well, because he came up from 7th on the grid to get onto the podium. That was a great drive.
Yeah, great start. Obviously, I keep a good start for try to pass Nano, but yeah, the degradation is difficult. So
happy with the weekend in general after maybe not so much this morning, but two podiums.
Yeah, 2 podiums. Barter is really fast, so 3rd or 3 position is okay.
Well done. Great drive today.
Thank you.
All right, that is all from the Hoosier Formula Cup here in Portimão. We're back out in September at a brand new venue in Motorland, Aragon. But stick with us on Ultimate Cup TV. There is more action still to come here in Portimão today.
We got